Okay, okay, well, hello there. I'm going to talk about web scraping. This is my second attempt at my cold opener because we had a guest interrupt and knock over the camera, destroying all the footage in the process or interrupting its so special guest. Let's talk about web scraping, which is our first data sciencey topic. Excuse me. It's our first data sciencey topic. Okay. Scraping the web. So, scraping the web. What? Why? How? Who? Where? What? I don't even, sometimes why? Whatever. You get the idea. So increasing amounts of data are available on the web. So if you are sick and tired of pre-processed data sets and don't want to collect your own or have one of many, many good reasons of why you don't want to, which are totally valid. 100%, I support your life choices to not collect data. So, please. So these data just are awesome. Web scrape data are you can get, but they're pretty messy. So they come in an unstructured format. You can always copy and paste them, but it tends to be super time consuming to process this data and is prone to errors. More so than usual in R, because there's just so many different steps. So web scraping is the process of extracting this information automatically and transforming it into a structured data set. So there are kind of two big scenarios. Screen scraping, which is extracting data from source code of a website with an HTML parser or with regular expression. This is a little less easy, but it's learnable, as well as with web APIs. So these are applications or application programming interfaces developed by the websites themselves to offer a set of kind of structured HTTP requests that return either JSON files or XML files. They make it easier so you don't have to do it manually, as well as give you more information. Actually, Canvas, for example, gives more information through the web scraping option through an API than it does as its user interface, which is typically the case. But okay, Archie, oh my goodness, what is happening? Hi. What? I give up. Okay, let's just keep going. So let's talk about web scraping with RVest. So to do that, we need to talk about hypertext markup language. So most data on the web is still largely available as HTML. The whole website is, you can look at the HTML-based files, even though they're written in Markdown and R. So it's still the norm, and it is very structured with a hierarchy or tree-based, but it's often not available in a nice form that is useful for analysis like a flat data set or a tidy data set. And here I've illustrated what the code looks like for Hello World. So here we have our HTML file, and we have a header here, and then it tells us next in the head of our document, we have a title, and the title is this is the title. That closes out the head. Then we open up the body of the document and enter in a Hello World and tell it that we have a center aligned paragraph. And then we close the body, and then we close the HTML document, and that is probably the simplest HTML document that you can make. Now, most HTML documents are way, way less pretty than that. And I'll show you a couple. And let's see if I can. Cool. All right, let's so close so we don't see all my unread emails. Okay, so let's just look, and I'm gonna view the page source, and this is the HTML file for data science for psychologists. Its header includes a lot of additional data. So it can get really messy really fast. And this is just that one front page. I'm just scrolling through so you can get a sense of how much data there is. And that's just for this little front page here. Different modules are going to have different levels of fanciness, and each of them has their own HTML page. So the point I'm trying to make here is that it gets messy really fast, and I really recommend leaning on your R toolbox. All right, so back to scraping. All right, so that was our hypertext markup language right here. Hopefully I remember to put in the thingy. All right, so RVest. So the RVest package makes basic processing and manipulating of HTML data really straightforward. So it's designed to work with pipelines that you've built with our little pipe symbol, the parenthesis, big mouth, and I cannot talk today. None of those were the correct symbol names. All right, so we have a percentage, then we have a greater than symbol, and then a close parenthesis, percentage. Oh my goodness, I cannot speak today. Okay, so here are some of the core RVest functions. So we have read HTML, which reads in, excuse me, which reads in our HTML file from a URL or a character string. So you could import something you had previously saved or just grab something from the internet. And then we have HTML_nodes, which selects, or node singular, which selects a single specified node from the HTML document. HTML nodes plural specifies multiple nodes. HTML table parses an HTML table into a data frame. HTML text extracts tags, pairs, and their content. Names extracts the name of the tags, extracts all the tag attributes, as well as extract the tag's attribute values by names. So there's a lot here. I encourage you to play around with this so that you can kind of develop your intuition. And that's where I'm going to wrap up for this little recording. As I try and save energy from mischief. Bye! Hey folks! Oops. Okay. Sorry. Hot mess coming through. Hey folks, so we are going to talk about scraping the web. This is one of the more data science-y type things we're actually going to learn how to do. Is that in case you run out of data on the internet that's already been pre-processed and you still refuse to collect your own data, like me, well, you can scrape it from the web. Because data is all around us. You can't. He has not been on this desk today at all until right now. RJ. Alright, well that's happening. So enjoy. Let's go. Alright, so scraping the web. So All right, here we go. Hi. Oh, no, you don't want cuddle? I don't know. I don't know what he wants. It's like he's less communicative than R. All right. So what scraping? What is that? Why? What? All the W questions. Okay, Archie, please. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so while Archie does that, I'm gonna hit an update. Oh, good. Never mind.